Hi there. My name is Jameson, and every since the pandemic has started, about every week, maybe every 2 weeks, my brother and I we get online um, and we watch a movie together. He watches a movie, say on YouTube or Tubi or something. He watches a movie and I watch a movie, and we video chat while we do it, and it's been fun. So I thought I'd share with you some of the movies that we watch and kind of share with you some of the reviews of what we do, just in case you're at all interested in some of it, because we watch some very strange, terrible movies. The worse, the more terrible they are, the better they are for us. We really enjoy, and sometimes we have to stop a movie and not watch it because it's just too good, which is weird. That has happened a couple of times. So I'll share with you what we got going on today. Today we watched I'm going to call this Bad Movies with My Bro. And today on Bad Movies with My Bro, we watched the 1984 feminist spectacular The Lost Empire, which is written and directed by nobody that you would ever know unless you're a fan of nigh, softcore television, sexploitation films. And I thought this movie was going to be one when I found the movies, because we kind of searched the internet and we both try to find the worst movies we can find. I can't even remember how I found this one, but this one looked like it was going to be kind of heavy on the sexploitation, or not heavy on it, but was going to be somewhat sexploitative, which is a word I don't think exists, but I like it and I'm keeping it. So this seemed like it was going to be, and it has a bevy of beautiful women, and they're scantily clad, and they're fighting the man with big poofy hair and leather bikinis, and it kind of looks like that. It's clearly a reenacted Into the Dragon plot line. It's very clear down to some exact moments. It's obviously Enter the Dragon, which is fine because I love Enter the Dragon. So we're gonna do Enter the Dragon with women. Okay. Scantily clad, then I guess I gotta deal with that. That's tough, but sometimes you gotta slog through these parts of these movies. And it didn't seem like that movie could really go wrong, right? Well, honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was bad, but it wasn't that bad. The acting wasn't spectacular, but I will give all those ladies, they did the best that they could. They were not actresses. Some of them were not hired for their acting abilities. They were hired for other attributes. So I'm not really gonna hold that against them. The acting wasn't great, but they were certainly trying. And the martial arts they're fighting was terrible. As a martial artist, I kind of watched that keenly, and it was terrible. But hey, it's fun, and they really tried. So let's see, what other notes do I have here? I'm just referring to my notes. And it wasn't as sexploitive as I thought. There were a few scenes that were definitely pretty steamy and unnecessary, but there's something fun in that as well. There's a quality to that, I suppose. And the production quality was pretty good. The cinematography was pretty good. The production quality was pretty good. They really seemed to put quite a bit of money into the production quality and costumes. One of the actresses designed her own costumes during the film, and they really did try. Whoever put the movie together really tried to make a decent film on a ridiculous premise, and missed out on some key things. And there were some special effects that were pretty decent for the time and for what clearly kind of was on a thin stretched budget. And so basically it kind of ends up being like a lost Phantasm movie with female sexploitative Enter the Dragon remake with Charlie's Angels liberally sprinkled throughout, which might be a barrage of imagery for you there, but that's kind of what we have going on. That's kind of what it ends up being, and it vacillates from like being like a cop drama to martial arts movie, and it has Angus Scrimm as a villain, so it kind of with it's going to get a Tournament of Champions trope, but it kind of ends up with certain horror aspects. And of course, if you're going to have a horror aspect, Angus Scrimm is great, right? The Phantasm fella, boy. He does not say boy. If you were hoping for him to say boy, he does not. You will get a girl, though. You will get to hear him say that, so that's that's a lot of fun. So basically, the story revolves around this character, this police officer, Melanie Vince. She's a badass police woman, and she's collecting together a team of other badass women to enter a tournament to avenge the death of her police officer father. Your pretty standard trope, and her father's murderer is basically another evil island owning mob boss, monk, immortal being, drug dealer, also fight promoter. It's hard to explain exactly what this fella does. He's very diversified. He seems to be very diversified in what he does. And that is played by Angus Scrimm. And his name is Sindhu, which I don't know if that's relevant at all. And so the clearly not Native American Raven Delacroix joins Melanie Vince, our primary blonde female protagonist, who's actually she's pretty striking and interesting. The character is named White Star in the film, a Native American character who's borderline racist, but they weren't as sensitive to that. She's the one who gets to design all of her costumes, and they're kind of interesting. They're interesting costumes. I hope nobody's offended by that, but there are some aspects of that pretty unpleasant. Let's see. And then a woman named Heather McClure, an actress by the name of Heather McClure, joins them, playing she's such a badass that she's uncontrollable, so she's in prison and she's beating up everybody in prison. And actually, her scenes are probably there's a fight scene that's pretty on that side of sexploitative that I thought is kind of what we were getting into, and pleasantly surprised not to get that much of it. She plays a character named Angel Ames, who's tough, beautiful, and nudiful. She's nudiful. I don't know if that's an actual word, but that's another one that I want to keep. So Vince, who's played by this actress by the name of Angel Wolf, who looks very much like She-Ra. She has a boyfriend, lover, co-worker fella who actually ends up kind of becoming like one of the shining moments of the film. He's kind of fun. He's played by a fellow by the name of Paul Kufos, who really didn't do much after that or anything, but I really kind of enjoyed his role. He kind of had a little fun spice to it. And he also heavily seems to resemble Bo from She-Ra. I suppose I should tell you that I'm not a She-Ra fanboy exactly. I just noticed the resemblance. She looks like She-Ra a lot, and he looks like Bo a lot. Like it would be if you casted a movie with them as those characters, it would be dead on. Also, I'm kind of a little bit of a She-Ra fanboy, so not a Masters of the Universe guy really, but I did more enjoy She-Ra. So, and there's kind of a magical, mystical element of the movie that kind of gets shoehorned into the script to kind of help him out. He's more of an ancillary character, doesn't really do much, but he kind of adds something, and so they add kind of a mystical aspect to it. With that mystical element and him in there, we almost get a feeling of seeing what will be like the lost clips of a She-Ra movie. Really, there's just some moments where it's just almost looks like we're kind of like a really bad, almost as bad as Masters of the Universe quality movie with these two perfectly cast. So that part I thought was fun. I was glad that I found that I could get just even a small glimpse of how bad that movie could have been. I wish I could have seen this movie, particularly with those two actors playing it. That would have been great to see a She-Ra movie. So I guess I went on a long time, but if you love bad movies and if you love them either ironically or otherwise, this one's kind of fun. There's plenty of nudity and a fairly few suggestive scenes, so I would not recommend watching it with children around. So keep the kiddos on the down low for that. And if you want to see a She-Ra spliced into a Charlie's Angels Enter the Dragon parody with a Phantasm element, this is your movie. So maybe you want to go and watch it. Check it out. All right. Thanks. Bye.